Hi, I'm Kate Darling. I'm an intellectual property researcher at MIT and a fellow at Harvard's Berkman Center. And last year at Farmhouse, I spoke about a project that I did on how the adult entertainment industry has been dealing with online piracy and copyright infringement as, one of the struggling content industries in the digital age. So the study is going to be published in the spring. There's a draft online. I don't really have much in terms of an update to that project, but I thought I would tell you a little bit about something that people often ask me about, which is, what it's like to be an academic who is associated with, well, porn. And in a way, I guess this is a story about collapse because it's about the collapse of my belief that smart people need more reason to dislike you than the simple fact that your paper title has adult entertainment in it. Now, to be absolutely clear, my study had nothing whatsoever to do with the content. It was purely about economics and shifts in markets brought about by technological disruption. And I really think that this is an immensely fascinating industry to study from an economics perspective. And yet very few people do study it for reasons that I had anticipated, but also a few reasons I hadn't. Now, what I had anticipated and thought long and hard about was, first of all, that I would forever be associated with the subject matter. But more importantly, I was worried that people wouldn't take the study seriously from an intellectual perspective. They would view it as some sort of sexy selling topic. So I tried to counter some of this by working very hard on the study and on its merits and trying to be very professional about it. So I had icy stares ready for every student who thought he was the first witty person to point out that there were no pictures in the paper, or for every professor who joked that I probably watch a lot of porn. I actually, for a long time, did not use the P word at all. I used adult entertainment, despite the syllables. That actually helped with email spam filters, too. But anyway, what I wasn't prepared for, on the other hand, was something else in people's reactions. Namely, for example, there's a tenured professor who I was very interested in talking to about the project because she'd done some tangential work. And so here I am, the PhD student, looking up to the senior in my field for guidance and advice. And the first sentence that I get from her is, I'm not kidding. And it did not get better. I was like, wow, that's classy. I want to be just like you when I grow up. Anyway, some people reacted viscerally to the subject matter, despite the fact that my study was not about the content. And they reacted so viscerally that it didn't seem to matter that I wasn't really threatening to their interests. And then when I started getting a little bit of press for the project, I got some great feedback, but I also started getting really hateful mail. And for instance, last year someone boycotted Farmhouse, the conference, because of me, calling me a porn monger and a disgrace to all women. And I just had so much trouble wrapping my mind around this reaction because I didn't feel like I was endorsing anything that they were opposing. And I figured that once I explained that, I was just interested in the economics, they would understand. But they didn't care. And after a while of being very confused about this, I realized that actually this was a life lesson for me of sorts. For me, the princess who had always liked everyone and been liked back, and that was really important to me. And had I known that people would disapprove of me no matter what in this instance, I probably might not have done this study at all. And I'm so glad that I did because it's a really good study. And now, my case is very trivial, obviously, but there are a lot of amazing people out there who deal with haters every day for the work that they're doing. And it seems to be a rule of thumb, right? If you're doing something worth doing, you're going to make a few enemies. And a friend of mine was in a similar situation recently and losing sleep over it. And so I just want to say to him and to everyone out there who gets bogged down and worried about people not liking what they're doing, you know, be a good person. Be kind and be nice and be respectful and be open. But when people don't return those sentiments, every second spent worrying about that or feeling bad about that is a second wasted that you could be using to continue doing something awesome. Because if you try to please everyone around you, you'll never do anything meaningful. And sometimes haters actually mean you're on the right track. So that's my message to Farmhouse. Go make some enemies, but be a good person. Peace.